Hi guys, you're welcome on another episode of Get Fit on Black Drum TV. Still your boy Brain, Mr. Hurricane, and I'm your host and your trainer for the day. Alright guys, so last week we had a wonderful session of aerobic, and today we'll be having another exciting session of aerobic. So get in a comfortable attire, a sportswear, get in a comfortable spot, and then join me on this session. It's going to be exciting, trust me, and I'm going to be having my friends with me to join me again on this session. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright guys, you're welcome back, and we're about to start the aerobic session, and I got here with me Debbie and D1. So join us on this exciting session of aerobic as we start. So come on, let's bounce. Go. Just bounce. Just bounce. So we're pushing our punches out this way. Join me, let's go. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just bounce. Bounce. Don't stop. Keep it going, guys. So we're splitting the legs this way. Go. All right. We go in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Nice one there. 5, 6, 7. That's it. 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just bounce. Yeah. I told you this was going to be very exciting, and it will get you all pumping. So we're going with the high kicks. We go this way, and that's it. We go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go, guys. 1, 2, 3. Let's go, guys. Up. Yeah, that's it. 7 and 8. Let's go. 8 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, guys, just bounce. Move your body to it. Shake it. Yeah. All right. We're going another high knees. And this time we're moving all the way without stopping. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 more. Let's go. 1. Let's go. 2. Let's go. 3. Let's go. 4. Let's go. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just bounce. Breathe in with your nose and out with your mouth. This will get you to get in more oxygen into your system. Breathe in with your nose and out with your mouth. All right, so right now we're doing jump lunges. This is what we're doing, up and down, switching the legs. That's lunges. Ready, guys? Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 more. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just bounce, guys. Like I said, don't forget to breathe. In with your nose and out with your mouth. Right now, you're gonna be feeling very, 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 very sweaty, very tired. It's perfectly normal. Your heart will be pumping very hard. It's perfectly normal. Just getting more oxygen into your system. In with your nose and out with your mouth. All right, guys. Right now, we're throwing punches forward. Ready, guys? We go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Just bounce, guys. Yeah. I told you this was going to be exciting. I'm really excited right now. My heart is pumping really hard, and then I'm really sweaty. This is how you shed weight. This is how you get your heart healthy. All right. This time around, we're doing one session of jumping jacks, and then we're done for the day. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it, guys. That was a wonderful, wonderful session of aerobic, like I said it was going to be. And then I'll be right back. Thank you, D1. Thank you, Debbie. This was exciting. I loved it. See you guys soon. All right, guys. So that was an exciting aerobic session. Like I said, it was going to be okay. And then we're done for the day. And as you know, aerobics, like I said, it helps you to shed weight and get your heart in a very good shape. So you can do this every day or 3 to 4 times a week for 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, it's going to keep you in a very, very good shape. All right, that's what's up for the day. You can follow us on official Black Drum TV on our social medias and on YouTube at Black Drum TV. And you can follow my personal page at Fit with Brain on Instagram. That's FITWITBRAIN. That's what's up, guys. I'll see you guys next time with another session of workout. Peace and love, guys.
Hello and welcome back. It's Hello Africa on the beautiful day, Wednesday, the 6th day of October 2021. And if you're just joining us, be sure to give us your conversation, your comments, your options, and your opinions following the link in the description. My name is Adebisi Pelumi, but simply BC, and I'm not doing the show alone. I have with me Favor Aya, who likes to be called Favorite. Favor, how are you doing?
I'm good. Welcome to today's episode of Hello Africa. Be a part of our show today, and of course, you can always, like he said, like BC said earlier, join us via your comments in the description. And
I must comment, I like your, eyewear, the glasses.
Thank you.
And the Favorite works out, by the way. That's why you can tell from his, torso and all of that. Anyways, so we have interesting lineups. We have our top stories. We have our sports updates, our entertainment gist. Well, Bibi Niger season is over, so yeah, we're probably not going to tell you much, but we'll give you all the inside scoops. The word on the streets, the gist about Bibi Niger updates. Here and there. And also we have a very, very what's the word now? Interesting topic, but something that will make you curious and think about the situation of things, especially the holiday that was celebrated worldwide yesterday, the 5th day of October 2021. And then we'll move on to our weird facts, one of the most interesting segments of the show. All right, so let's move to our top story, shall we? Our first story says EFCC arrests Governor Ganduje's wife for allegedly defrauding her son. Excuse me?
Okay,
so she defrauded. Wow, okay. This is interesting.
So Hafsat Ganduje, who happens to be the wife of Kano State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, was arrested yesterday by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, over a bribery and land fraud case reported by her son. Wow. Of course, the Guardian News also gathered that she was arrested on Monday evening over a bribery and land fraud case, like I said earlier, by her son, Abdul Aziz Ganduje. Ganduje's wife had earlier been invited to report to the EFCC for interrogation on certain reported cases by her son, but she turned down, or she failed to honor the invitation. And of course, in his petition, Abdul Aziz also said that he was approached by a property developer to facilitate the acquisition of some plots of land in Kano State with hundreds of $1,000s, which he was meant to pay. But he said this 3 months later. The property developer also discovered that the plots of land had been paid for, probably by his mom, or I wouldn't understand, but then he also requested for a refund because he had made the payments for the property as well. And then eventually, just a mixed up story that we do not have. A very mixed up
story, because I don't understand how a mother would be defrauding her own son and the son taking the mother to law enforcement. I mean, legally speaking, he did the right thing, calling her out and then, putting her to face the weight of the law. But what must be happening in the Ganduje's family to lead to the point where the wife is defrauding? I mean, the mother is defrauding the son. Is he like stepmother,
stepson?
Is reporting
a defraud case.
I mean, what's the father doing? Why while all this is happening, what's the father saying?
Especially from a political family or from the ruling governor.
Exactly, it's like a house of cards or something.
Yeah, so let's just wait and get the actual facts. The story at this point doesn't have enough details for us to make whatever judgment or conclusion whatsoever.
All right, so our next top story is night travel now unsafe for motorists and commuters in Lokoja, says FRSC.
Okay, so the Federal Road Safety Commission, also in Kogi State, warned against night traveling as the insecurities has risen drastically in Lokoja, which happens to be the capital of the city. Also, the command said that they will ensure that they'll be able to manage proper security between now and mid-January 2022. We do hope that they actualize this, because the cases of insecurity in this region has really risen in recent times.
Oh well. Sit at home, seal any shop closed in solidarity with IPOB, as indigenous people of Biafra tells Northern government. Wow.
Well, that's a
same.
Now,
what is it with this IPOB people and
so they are extending their movement. I'm sure most of the time you would wonder why they take their leaders this so seriously. Lots of them who probably migrated outside the eastern region of the country are also representing the IPOB movement in various other
in their various
regions where
settlements
they are.
where they are.
Exactly. So the Arewa Youth Coordinator and Forum made a declaration about leaders or people who were carrying out such actions in the northern part of the country, saying the northern leaders and governors do not support the IPOB movement. So if specifically in the north, in Kaduna, they said if they find any person find their shops locked down during this period as a result of the IPOB movement, they should completely seal those shops and not allow these traders to carry out their actions. So if on any day they find out that these people are observing the sit-at-home lockdown and sit-at-home movement and lock down their shops, of course the shops should be completely sealed and not allowed, the traders should not allow to trade any longer. I find this very interesting because the movement is actually not a government approved movement. The fact that they are taking laws into their hands and
it's no longer a protest anymore.
It's no longer exactly.
It's now like it's starting to fall short of revolution and more of rebellion.
Yeah, that's
it's
what
now starting
like,
to move towards the rebellion that kind of movement.
And it's not good for the market here in Nigeria, especially with the way the economy is growing right now. But then I do hope that the leaders are also going to be a part of this and put together their heads and ensure that this IPOB movement would stop both in the northern and every other region of the country.
All right. This one is on the financial or on the economics part of the story. It says Buhari presents 2022 budget to National Assembly on Thursday. Let's hope that budget does not include a new request for loan. For the loan, exactly what I thought when I saw the news. So the president, Major General Muhammad Buhari, would lay a budget, a 2022 appropriation bill before the National Assembly on Thursday. Of course, the Deputy President of the Senate, Ovie Agege, stated this while presiding over the plenary on Tuesday. He specifically said he urged this, the President is urging the Senate to look deeply into the finance and take actions when they see the framework or see this. But like BC earlier said, we do hope that it doesn't include the $4 billion. $4 billion. Is it $4 billion? I think there was a $4 billion loan. Yeah, $4 billion loan, which there was an initial $16 billion. Yes, yes. So I just pray, because right now the country isn't even as stable as we want. But then let's wait and see what the budget has and what it holds. All right. For the first half, finally on the first half of our top story, Akunyili, suspects arrested as police hunts arsonist in Anambra. Wow. Okay, so yeah, we earlier spoke about the death of Chike Akunyili, who happens to be the husband of Dora Akunyili. And in Anambra, the police command in this region were able to get hold of 4 suspects, of which they released 2 suspects yesterday after proper investigations were carried out, and they found out those 2 had no concerns. But the 2 persons who are in custody have been investigated, and they figured that they had a hand in the death of Mr. Chike Akunyili. Wow. And also they are still carrying out investigations to capture a couple more of these people. Of course, they are holding them to ransom for his death. We do hope that their activities will be able to probe and bring justice to those killers who took the life of Dr. Chike. Yeah, I think it's interesting to see that there's progress in the investigation. You know, exactly, the suspects that are actually confirmed to be involved, and I think the full weight of the law should take its full course, and you know, justice should be served. And that's a wrap for the first half of our top stories. We'll go on a short break. We'll bring you. We'll be coming back with the other half, and then our other segments of the show. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Hello Africa, brought to you by Black Drum TV, and we are live from Lagos. If you're just joining us, you've missed the first half of our top stories, but not to worry, we still have our other half, entertainment news, other segments, interesting segments, of course, to bring to you. And you can be a part of this conversation by clicking on the link in the description. My name is Adebisi Pelme, but I prefer simply BC. And I'm not doing this alone. I have Favor Aya, who likes to be called Favorite. Favor, thanks for the rundown of the first half of this top story. You did an excellent job.
Yeah.
And
moving on to our next top stories, we have this one says Zuckerberg loses nearly $7 billion to Facebook outage.
Yeah, this happened on
Monday.
Monday, right?
Break.
Yeah. Monday, yeah. It happened on Monday. I think it was a general thing. At first, I thought it was my mobile network when this happened. Yeah. And turns out it was the Facebook group that was having issues with all of its platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, right? And immediately, trust stakeholders and investors. The stock of Facebook started plummeting, and Mark Zuckerberg's personal wealth dropped to $121.6 billion. Dropping in below Bill Gates to number 5 on the Bloomberg Billionaires Index, is now down from almost $140 billion in a matter of weeks, according to that particular index. And what has happened is that the stock slide on the sell-off actually sent the social media giant stock plummeting about 4.9% on Monday, adding to a drop of about 15% since mid-September. I think it just goes on to see or to show how important all these little errors can be. But then, I mean, it's a digital platform. Yeah, exactly. So anything can happen. Yeah. My personal guess is that, or my hypothesis is that, I feel like someone tried hacking, or a group of people tried hacking the Facebook platform, and their servers had to be restarted in order to cut the hack.
Okay, well,
that's an hypothesis, my own personal hypothesis. I'm not saying that's what really happened.
But then let's just be expectant that if something like this is going to happen again, we should all be ready for whatever comes with it, because I think lots of business were put on hold.
Yeah, a lot of business were put on hold.
Period of 7 hours when this outage was on, and then you can imagine how much he lost in the few hours that this outage was on. I just hope that he's able to gather some strength back. And
he still has like $120 billion. It's not like I say really.
The point is he's no longer on the mark he used to be. I
mean, but he's still on the top 5 mark. What other mark are you looking for? When you have a net worth of over $100 billion, I don't think $6 billion loss should be a
big case.
It should not be a big deal. All right.
This one says, afraid of Taliban crackdown, over 100 musicians flee Afghanistan.
Now, let's keep in mind, let me read this interesting fact. The Taliban, who banned music during their brutal rule from 1996 to 2001, swept back to power August 15, promising a more moderate kind of rule this time. But they have made it clear they will run the country within the restrictive limits of the interpretation of Sharia law. And majority of those people fleeing Afghanistan are actually heading to Portugal, right? And they had a stopover at Qatar, and they arrived Qatar capital Doha on Sunday and plan to continue on to Portugal. However, the majority of them are actually women and girls.
Okay.
The majority of them are actually women. It was so tricky getting them out that let me hope I'm not mixing the story up. Excuse me. Let me just confirm a little bit. Yeah, I'm not mixing it up. Because I remember that before they released them, before they granted them the visa, the Qatari embassy had to step in. And okay, these people are not fleeing. They're just saying they want to go and continue their kind of career that your country is not going to support, or something like that. And it was a successful evacuation. But hey, this is the kind of thing that makes me believe the international community will still step in. Taliban's, I don't know. Taliban's don't. The way they rule is
it's quite uncertain.
Exactly.
Their actions are just. I mean, if there was a Sharia law that was disputing the rules or would put bans on musical stuff, I think people should flee and get to where they can still practice what
and
they do.
Express the best versions of themselves.
Well, that's that for that story. This one says Sub-Sahara Africa needs additional 15 million teachers by 2030, United Nations.
I'm just going to read the facts. This is just a fact kind of story. Okay, listen to this. According to the report entitled "Closing the Gap, Ensuring There Are Enough Qualified and Supported Teachers in Sub-Saharan Africa," Africa must recruit. Now, it's a matter of must now. Must recruit 15 million teachers by 2030. Of these 50 million additional teachers, 6.1 million are in primary, 8.9 million for secondary. The countries most affected by this deficit with regard to the primary cycle are the Central African Republic, Chad, Mali, and Niger. They will need the largest increase in the number of teachers, 6% or more annual growth in the years to come. As for Togo, Madagascar, Namibia, Sao Tome, and Seychelles, they are good students and will need only a slight increase. Now, the problem to this analysis or to these statistics is, first of all, Sub-Saharan Africa is going through some sort of insurgency, right? The whole terrorist attacks and all of that. Can they afford, by this time, to meet up by 2030 recruiting 15 million teachers?
Well, we would look practically from our home here and see what progress we also have. I don't even think that things like this are achievable in Africa in these current times, especially home from where our immediate states. We can look at the educational system here in Nigeria and take a good example of what other African countries, and of course, like they usually say, we're the giant of Africa or the heart of Africa, but then look at where we are with our educational system and then think about what other countries that are doing less would be, what the situation would be. I wouldn't know if we're going to get 15 million teachers.
Well, the interesting thing, sorry to cut you, the interesting thing is that this actual stats that I just read is for the primary school. Like, listen to the secondary school. For secondary cycle, Burundi, Central African Republic, Mozambique, Niger, Chad, and Tanzania will need growth of at least 10% per year. Now, the primary school just needed a growth of 6% per year. For those countries that I mentioned, need at least 10% per year. On the other hand, Ghana, for example, will only need an annual growth of 0.2%. One indicator of this deficit is pupil qualified teacher ratio. On average, there is one qualified teacher per 58 pupils in primary education. That's not a good ratio.
No, it's not.
One qualified teacher per 58 pupils. While for secondary education, this ratio is around 43 pupils per qualified teacher. Still not a good ratio.
Yeah.
While the standard, according to UNESCO, is 40 students per teacher in primary and 25 students per teacher in secondary. You can see there's a large difference in the ratio number.
Indeed,
A shortage of teachers in this country, and I just feel that even if we're going to think about, employing over 15 million teachers and all of that, the insecurity, the finances to do that, and then let's not even forget about the debt that most of these African countries are actually facing.
Yeah.
Speaking of Nigeria, our debt alone.
Oh, well, let's just hope that we're able to, or Africa is able to recover from this. Nairobi's president reacts to Pandora leaks on Kenyatta.
Yeah. Okay, so a Washington, D.C.-based network of reporters and, media organizations have released the financial documents that show the linkage between world leaders and secret stores of wealth. The documents derive information from about, 91 countries and feature 35 current and former national leaders as well as 330 politicians. Okay. In other words, a lot of it's similar to that Panama Papers, actually. Among the leaders named the damning 2.9 terabyte expose known as the Panama Papers is Kenya's President Uhuru Kenyatta. All right?
Yeah.
Now, the Kenyans now react. Okay, listen to this. The act of shielding their wealth from public scrutiny has in past attracted protests from activists in Kenya. And Kenyans assumed that because he came from the richest family in our country, that he would not steal or get involved in shady deals. But when the president has offshore accounts, that is very shady. He is in the same class with drug dealers, money launderers, tax evaders, tax cheats, and all manner of criminals. All right, so Uhuru Kenyatta came from a wealthy family, right? Kenyans believe, okay, you're from a wealthy family, you should not need to embezzle or be involved in sort of money laundering or some kind of shady deal as our leader. But turns out that according to the document that was released, his name was part. He has offshore accounts, and they're like, where did it all happen from? Exactly, there are questions everywhere, and people are protesting. Anyway, they said the Pandora Papers and subsequent follow-up audits will lift the veil of secrecy and darkness for those who cannot explain their assets or wealth. I just hope we have this kind of documents for our own country. They'll be released for our own dear country, Nigeria. I think they'll be interesting, the kind of names that will turn up on that list or on that document.
So China sent 56 warplanes into Taiwan defense zone on Monday, Taipei says.
All right. If you recall, in one of our episodes or previous episodes, we did a story between China and Taiwan. You know, the whole issue of Taiwan not accepting China's sovereignty over their country, and the President Xi Jinping refusing to speak with, I think, Mai Tong, if I recall her name correctly, the current president of Taiwan. Okay. And now, this one says Taiwan's defense ministry said 56 Chinese warplanes made incursions into its air defense identification zone on Monday, the highest number since the island began publicly reporting such activities last year. The incursion did not violate Taiwan's sovereign airspace, which extends 12 nautical miles from its coast. But, Taiwanese defense ministry said, it said earlier in the day that 52 military planes, it is basically saying that 56 military planes, and it's becoming suspicious, right? Because if you as an independent nation or an independent island is refusing the sovereignty of another country, and then those countries' warplanes are, coming into your nation's air defense, zone, I think it breeds up suspicion, and I hope the international community can come to their aid and I think, there's no crime committed, so I don't think it can involve the international court of justice. So it's basically a China-Taiwan thing, kind of like the Afghanistan Taliban issue.
Okay. Well, that's that for second half of our top stories. We'll take a break, and when we get back, of course, we'll bring you entertainment and BB Niger updates. If you are just joining us, this is Hello Africa, brought to you by Black Drum TV. My name is Favor. I like to be called Favorite. Of course, we, together with my friend BC in the house. BC, we just finished the first half of the show, which happens to be the top stories. And of course, we're moving on to our BB Niger and entertainment news. Our first story says, Mr. Innocent Idibia falsely accused me of sleeping with his wife, Braimo. Wow. Well, that family has been in the news recently, or in recent times, over certain family uncertainties. And of course, we thought they were also trying to go low and sort things out. But then
again, boom, here they are.
Braimo popped up with this story. I do hope this doesn't hit the family differently. But then saying this, or this is a very big news, and it shouldn't be as I hope it doesn't go as far as I'm thinking.
It doesn't escalate.
Yeah, it doesn't escalate.
Oh, well, it depends on how the Idibia family tend to take the news. They might just ignore it, downplay it, come out and give their own statement. But hey, what I'm curious about is, why would Braimo think Mr. Two-Face Idibia would falsely accuse him of sleeping with his wife?
Are you saying he did?
I'm not saying he did. I'm saying, why would he just, out of the blues, want to falsely accuse? You can't just drop some allegations
you don't just
randomly.
Say things
Exactly.
But then, of
there would
course,
have been something somewhere that led to that conclusion.
Well, we've not heard anything about both of them being in any misunderstanding or arguments, or heard that they had a fight or something. But then, this is coming from a very inappropriate, or we do not have proper information, so we can't really say what exactly.
No, we don't have all the whole full scoop, but I mean, just this alone tells you that there's something cooking behind.
Well, let's hope that the Two Faces response would tell us a better part of whatever is going on.
Right.
Our next story says comedian Bracken Face was found dead in his bedroom 3 days
After a 3 day search.
after a 3 day search. Yeah.
It's sad.
Sadly, I saw the upload of his
So
death.
rest
It was a
in peace.
painful death, and then, of course, they've been searching for him, and we're told they found his body dead. So sad, with any scars or anything. So the reporters said they suspect, or the police said they suspect. Oh, sorry, his neighbors and friends said they suspect it was a poison situation. But then, of course, may he so rest in peace, like you said.
There should be an autopsy that will be carried out to find out the cause of death and, you know, other relevant information like that can give his family some sort of closure.
Yeah. Everyone is nothing without the media, says Tauma. Oh, well.
Miriam Kagi.
That's quite... okay, so Yomi Casual took to his Instagram page a couple of days, of course, like on Monday when there was outage on social media, and specifically said they deserve some credit. By they, I mean people who were able to set up and stand an existing business without the aid of the internet and social media. So specifically, I felt he was coming out to say they deserve some credit, and those who their businesses were built via the online platform should be able to pay respect to them who had their businesses grown from the scratch without the influence of social media. And this had me thinking, why would you make a statement like that? Are you saying the internet has become a lazy dumb for people who don't work hard?
That's an angle. But because for me, if you're even going to say that, it should not be Yomi Casual, because Yomi Casual has benefited from the media space, from social media platforms. If he's talking about fashion designer or artisans that started their business from scratch without the use of the internet, then you should talk about brands as old as
we wouldn't want to mention.
We won't want to mention name, but other older brands in the fashion line who, before the advent of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, what have you, they have been pushing, working hard, using I think some form of media or the other, newspaper, radio.
Sorry to cut you. That's not even the point. The point now is, like, Tauma came out to tell him, or replied to his post and said...
Was she specifically replying to his post?
Yeah, she was. Okay. Yeah, she also made a comment under his own, under his post. And she specifically said, well, it's a good thing that you are successful in your space via whatever thing. At the time when your business was birthed and was growing, you didn't have competitors, so we accepted whatever you gave us, and it was a very good response. As a matter of fact, I was impressed by her response. It seems
she's a smart lady.
Yeah, because at some point, since you were the fashion guru at this time, whatever you served us, that was what we would accept, because there were no competitions. But she made it clear to him that we're in a time and space where people produce and give us good products, and there are so many of them bringing these products. Via the internet, you can see on social media how many influencers we have. The competition is quite high. Content creation has become a thing for revenue generation. Exactly. So people who are not given jobs and do not have a means of survival took to the internet to survive, and it's been working for them.
Yeah,
you do not have any right to castigate them because they are working. If they were doing something illegal, what would now be your report? People are doing something legal, and they're trying as much as possible to keep themselves valuable in the society. And all you have to say is, now that the social media went out, you have a reason to question their efforts, and you deserve some credit for not being. Well, personally, I think that's a very lame thing to say, honestly. I don't mind
Of course, I'm also of the opinion that what he said is sort of wrong, not...
It's not welcome.
It's not welcomed at all. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one says, singer Akon says he was happier when he was poor.
Yeah, so... well, he was in an interview with TMZ recently, and he specifically mentioned growing up, life wasn't as rosy as people would think. He used to be the African kid who used to go play football in the streets and play under the rain and all that. But he specifically said he has had a taste of that life and the wealth life now. He's lived the wealthy life. Come on. So he specifically mentioned that having a taste of the two, he felt he was happier as a...
Really?
Well, that's up to him.
I think I would like to make my own conclusion after I've had a taste of the two as well. I've had a taste of one. I'm just waiting to have a taste of an experience of the second part of wealth.
You should, I think, before you make the conclusions, you should actually have a taste.
That's what I'm saying. That I want to have a taste of wealth as well, so I can make my own conclusion.
Okay,
and
but
tell people the truth.
But then, like he said, this is his personal space, and I think he must have really seen. He said specifically that having wealth comes with more problems than being poor.
I feel like it's more like having wealth comes with more responsibilities, not problems per se. Because when you're poor, that's when there's problem. Like, that's a lot of problem.
Well, you can't exactly say that. Sometimes it's a different situation for people. Poverty keeps you uneducated, keeps you in your space. Have you seen the worst form of poverty?
The worst form of poverty is not even the financial poverty or the financial lack or material whatever.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
The worst form of poverty is the poverty of the mind.
Exactly.
When the mind is poor, when the mindset is poor, very poor, that is the most. As in, there is nothing you can put that person in a wealth of about $100 billion, and that person will still, in a year, go back to being poor.
But I like to look at it from an alternative angle because,
which is?
Thinking rationally, people who stay in very remote areas and those very absurd communities, or how would I call it, rural areas, or people who haven't had a taste of the life. Those people, how do they survive? Of course, they wake up to a good life. They have their fishing boat. They go fishing. They come back. They eat their local food. They do not have to worry about internet. They don't care about what's happening outside their world. And then they live till the day they are called to glory. And then they pass on. They are not worried about things. It's when you decide to draw them out of it.
That's a good way to live.
Yeah, it might not be a good way, but that's how they live. Yeah, that's how they live, and it's convenient for them. Because by the time you bring them out of that space, that's when they begin to struggle, they fall sick, and they do not know what actions to take.
So are you saying Acorn is like that kind of person?
He's saying he had that life, and he also had the wealth life, and for him, it was better.
Yeah. All right, let's take this last one, and then we'll be reviewing a video from our Creative Up session. Not now, but let's take this last entertainment news. The video will come up after the entertainment news. All right, Rihanna, A$AP Rocky, Alicia Keys, and Swizz Beatz all attended Wizkid's concert in LA and were all spotted dancing and singing to his songs.
Well, big congrats.
Big ups to Wizkid Ayo Balogun.
Yeah, a good job with his career so far.
Oh, Rihanna. Okay. Okay, Wizzy, I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. All right, let's roll our special video of one of our shows, Creative Up. That is a documentary of the National Theatre celebrating their 45th anniversary, and of course, the MD also celebrating his 1-year anniversary in office. Tape is coming back right now, and we'll be back with our BB Niger updates.